bells of Capistrano peal out joyful tidings, tidings of romantic thrills, gaiety, and exciting action, as dashing senors and flashing senoritas greet with colorful pageantry and musical splendor the king of song and adventure, Gene Autry.
See her glancing, ask her to go dancing. CC means romancing. She'll be your sweetheart.
He's trying to knock me off, Autry. Don't let him.
Good evening, goblins and ghouls, and welcome to the welcome to the Wednesday night Scream Stream Minisode. I'm your host, Spakenstein, joined as always by my very good friend, Mr. Evan Sink.
Good evening, everybody.
Sorry for that stumble there. I just realized the music wasn't playing, so I was like, my mind was already multitasking about pulling up the music and like, I'm going to get through this intro perfect. And then immediately, boom, hit a wall within the first two words. Classic. Welcome to the Scream Stream. Welcome, everybody. Hope you are all having a wonderful Wednesday. And if you're in the United States watching tonight, you definitely are, because chances are you don't have to work tomorrow because you'll be celebrating.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Somebody's got a birthday.
It's America. And I hope America doesn't get mad, but I forgot how old they're turning. Is that a bad citizen moment? Does that make me a bad citizen if I don't know how old my country is?
Do you think we should at least send her a card?
She might. Yeah, she might kind of hold it against us if we don't. This is an election year after all, so.
You know, honestly, I think she's at that age where she probably doesn't want people reminding her how old she is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once you get past
how old are you, America? 29.
Yeah, all forever America, forever 29. You know,
there we go. That's our new slogan.
We can identify with that, certainly.
We'll put that in the corner.
You know, 30, who needs it? You know? But no, I mean, once you get past 200, you can tell people
who's counting?
You're 20. Go for it. You know, tell them whatever you want. America. Tell them whatever America. Tell them whatever you want. That's the new motto. But yeah, so we'll be celebrating our Independence Day tomorrow. So, we're gonna be celebrating it tonight with a rootin' tootin' good old fashioned like American genre, which is the Western, as we continue our foray into
Americana.
Yeah, it really is, man, because we're watching The Phantom Empire, a 12-chapter cliffhanger serial, and it, you know, we're 4 chapters in.
What could be more American than a singing cowboy and an underground empire?
That's America right there. I mean, seriously though, I mean the whole singing cowboy thing, the whole like radio, the fact he's also a radio star. I mean, only in America, right? Come on.
It's American.
Who in America could you own your own ranch, but also be under contract to a radio station to perform every day in order to keep your ranch, which also, as Evan said, has an underground civilization living beneath it. So, yeah, it's certainly, that's America, right? Ain't that America? It's, I mean, this
I
is
haven't really thought about it, but Gene Autry must be like mortgaged up to his eyeballs. He the only thing standing between him and losing the ranch is singing a song every day.
right. Isn't it funny that his life, his whole livelihood, and the livelihoods of like 20 to 30 other people on the ranch all hang by the thread of this, like, he's got to sing what, not even all, he has to perform a whole show. He just has to sing one song every day. And that's all that stands between him keeping everyone employed, or, you know, everybody being out on the street because Gene didn't come in and sing his song. So
Yeah, sounds like a good deal, but we've seen it's not all.
it's not as easy as it seems.
Yeah.
Gene's, you know, I mean,
Not
again,
exactly a ride in the. What would you say? A
ride in
on
the
Sugarfoot?
range.
I don't know.
Right in the, yeah, that'll work. Yeah, no, I mean, Gene has certainly tackled all the obstacles that have come his way so far. He has had no problems, even though he's faced certain death at the end of every single episode. It's been fun to watch. This has been a good one. This has been a really fun serial. And yeah, Gene Autry has been
Last week he invented remote work.
That's right. I forgot about that. That is, I didn't even realize that. That's the thing about Gene Autry, and we'll talk a little bit more about him tonight, but the man was a pioneer. He was a pioneer. You want to talk about American pioneers? Gene Autry, American pioneer. That's the thing. As we're seeing in the serial, yeah, he's literally, like you said, he must, you know, be up to his eyeballs in debt if everything depends on one song. But in real life, Gene Autry was an incredibly savvy businessman to the point of, I mean, millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, and also some interesting investments, which we'll talk about later on. Because we've talked about
American,
right? Isn't it? You know, you start out with nothing. He was, you know, I mean, again, he started out as a real cowboy, I believe, and then he just had this vocal talent, parlayed that talent into investments, like we said, franchising, all these things, and made bank. Yeah, isn't that the American dream? Gene Autry exemplifies that. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Some good. Hopefully, we'll get a song or two, probably just one if we're lucky, because we had a song last week, right? He had to.
Yeah, we got a little song.
But the week before that, no song, and we were disappointed.
So,
I was disappointed. Yeah, so
that,
continuity error.
Pattern.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't he supposed to sing? I don't know. Again, this has just been a lot of fun. Gene Autry's been a lot of fun, so we'll be getting into him more tonight. And we've been talking about other cast members and stuff the past couple weeks, so we're righting the ship, getting back to the man of the hour, Gene Autry, and we'll see what he's. Well, he'll be. Well, no. So the title of tonight's episode is, let me get this right, Beneath the Earth. So I believe that implies that Gene will finally be visiting this underground city, which it is about time, because he's just been.
Yeah, it's about time. We're
almost halfway.
We've refused the call. We've had the bar scene. We've met the mentor. It's time to cross the threshold, I think.
Exactly. We're there. It's and we'll see, you know, what's going to happen when Gene meets is it Queen Tika? Is that her name?
Think so? Yeah.
Tika. Yeah. Cuz she doesn't take any crap. She's not a, you know, and Gene doesn't give any crap. So maybe they'll get along, you know? Who knows? Maybe they'll really get along.
Yeah, this is.
Gene will
Yeah, he's
become
about to.
King Tika.
He's gonna King Tika.
He'll
Mr.
take her
Queen
name.
Tika.
Yeah, he'll take her name. Makes sense. So
He's
we'll.
savvy.
He is, again, incredibly savvy businessman in real life. And he's playing himself here, so I guess by extension, he's, you know, the character emulates the man. So, based on a true story, perhaps? Curious.
Well, let's find out.
Let's find out. Well, on that note, Evan, if you've got it queued up.
I do.
I sent you the link, right?
I found it.
Oh, of course. Okay. I mean, I'm already 8 seconds in. I got past the little, just a little thing to get past. All right. If you've got it queued up,
I'm ready.
then we're gonna go ahead and get into the exciting beginning of The Phantom Empire, Chapter 5, Beneath the Earth, right now.
The title of this episode makes me think that we're going to see a singing crab.
Ooh, okay, that would be fun. Beneath the Earth. Oh, God, yeah. But it's going to be a giant crab. Like a crab person. Yeah. Gotta love these classical orchestral. Yeah, man. Uranium. Or Moo. I don't think Moo does justice to a scientific city. Murania, yes. Moo, no. Beneath the Earth. Rich in radium deposits. Wipe out. Wipe out. Part owner? What?
Yeah, when did he become part owner? Was he demoted?
Was the guy that got killed his business partner? Then Gene would be the full owner. Come on.
It's some classic, like, dictator move. This music is dangerous.
This musical artist terrifies me. They're gonna turn everybody against me.
Gunpowder. We'll need it for sound effects. This is our club room. That's the way to the secret exit.
We'll need it for sound effects. Oh, Gene, always the showman.
Nobody heard that.
They've gone.
Uh-oh.
They've taken our equipment.
What's this trail of
Those fools. Like, how much gunpowder is in that? It doesn't seem like a very big barrel. They've been dropping a lot of gunpowder for a long time.
I think they must have taken Gene out to our secret passage. The outer door is locked. Why? I locked
What?
it. They'll be blown to pieces. We'll have to rescue them.
save?
Ah,
Rescue.
nice. Oh my god, that's still so crazy. Jumping up on a horse like that. Like, you gotta be really skilled, right?
kids do you think watched this back in the day and then hurt themselves?
I don't know, man. They probably all landed it. Kids back in those days. Tough kids.
Lock from the outside!
They're all wearing buckets on their heads, Evan. Remember, we talked about this. The soft-headed children of today.
The Thunder Riders sure came to the rescue that time.
Tell us what
Yeah,
happened.
you said it, Gene.
We've got to find some way to make
They
our
jumped out
broadcast
the
tomorrow.
last second.
If we don't, Gene will lose his contract.
And we'll lose Radio Red.
What about our secret clubhouse in Thunder Canyon?
Good, but how'll we get the equipment there?
Leave that to the Thunder Riders Club. The trick now is to get you away from those scientists. Here, fellows. They spotted you already. Come on.
Oh my God. Gene did it too. Did you see how he hopped up on there?
We can't let him escape.
I'll call the sheriff.
Get some height.
What was a fugitive from
Yeah,
justice?
my
I don't
God,
think anyone would
dude.
blame us if he were to be shot.
Everybody's running, dude. I love all the running. Because these professors can't really run or ride.
Lead him past those horses. I'll drop off.
Nice. Oh, create a diversion. Damn. I mean, they must speed that up a little. Oh, maybe not.
How Autry and those kids could have disappeared is beyond me. They must have ducked down gopher holes.
Like gophers.
Now, when they come in, let me do the talking. We want to show them that we really know how to run a club. Welcome, travelers, to a meeting of the Junior Thunder Riders Club, thrown open to you on the face of a great emergency. Gentlemen, the honor and integrity of our club is at stake. We have a mission to perform, and without the assistance of you two intelligent gentlemen, it is doomed to failure. Will you take an oath of secrecy?
Well, where do you want us
Well,
to take it?
probably-
He means we've got to stop.
Now, the creed of our organization is to assist others who are in distress. Our motto is to the rescue. Now, we must help our friend Gene make his next broadcast. We want you to take the broadcasting equipment to the secret clubhouse in Thunder Canyon. Will you do it?
Sure, Frankie.
Good.
Why didn't you say that's what you want?
Now, first, you have to get the wagon and take it to the secret exit of the clubhouse. And then,
And then dot, dot, dot.
Dot.
Yeah, being really secretive and careful with all that special equipment.
Oscar, where are you?
Here I am.
Nice.
Well, what are you a-doing?
I'm disguising myself. Here's yours. Put 'em on. Well, put 'em on. They told us to keep it a secret, didn't they?
Yeah, but maybe they...
Maybe nothing. How are we going to be a secret if we ain't a secret? I'll
I
put 'em
mean,
on.
he's using his noodle.
Friends
but
of
he's
Radio Land, this is Oscar.
Fucking with that equipment.
That's Pete.
You're gonna break it up.
Oh, the ducks went quack and the cow went moo. And the old tomcat sure raised an awful row.
They're
Oh, the little
Okay.
pig squealed and the billy goat bad and the bullfrog said big.
just leaving him. Nice. Oh. Thanks for the reminder. I was wondering just how many thousands of feet. Oh, of course they know where the secret hideout is.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Get me headquarters of the Royal Thunder Guard. Once we are rid of Autry and he can no longer broadcast, Radio Ranch will become deserted.
Deserted.
At your service, Your Majesty.
Lieutenant, Gene Autry is now at a shack in Thunder Canyon. Lead your riders there and capture him. Remember, if you fail, you peril Murania, and your life becomes forfeit. Do you understand?
Yeah,
Yes, Your
she's so
Majesty.
ruthless, dude.
Just a minute, Lieutenant, and you'll see the exact location of the shack. Transfer the view of the shack to the Thunder Guard's screen.
But you always know where you stand with her.
That's true.
Very good, Your Majesty.
She's tough but fair.
Under guards, alert!
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Oh, so brief. Such a fleeting glimpse.
Gene! Even the long-eared jackass was
You had us
there.
scared for a minute.
Where's the radio equipment? Pete and Oscar are bringing it up.
Pete and Oscar?
Yeah, we made them honorary members of our club.
Oh.
He's Gene immediately. He's like, well, they're never getting here with that equipment. Oh, Pete and Oscar. Why'd y'all do that? It was really dumb. We're gonna lose the range. Ooh.
They're coming in. Get in there.
Ruthless. Nope, hiding again. Oh, okay, night. Yeah, Gene's too big to find a nice spot to hide. He's got to go behind the curtains.
More surfacemen approach.
Uh-oh.
We cannot allow anyone to interfere with our mission. After them.
Let's go ahead and take a break right there. I'm at 11 minutes even. And that was the exciting first half of Chapter 5 of The Phantom Empire. What do we think so far, Evan?
Well, haven't quite made it, or Gene hasn't quite made it underground, but there's still a bit of this episode to go.
Yeah, and even if they wait till the very end to get him down there, I feel like once he gets down there, he may not come back up. Well, for a while, right?
That's true. I mean, 25,000 feet? That's really, really deep.
Don't you love how quickly?
5 miles or something?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else. Like, how it's so funny how quickly they just rise up from Urania. Like, there's like,
Yeah, how fast is that elevator?
well, those robots, dude, like they're going so fast that to us it looks like they're going slow. But in that one crank that we see, they're really doing like 100 or 1,000 or whatever would get you up in 5 minutes in what should usually take like, I don't know, 10 out. I don't know feet to distance to speed. I don't do math. We've talked about this many times. Loyal viewers of the show know, not a math guy. Anyway, suffice to say, yeah, because think about Undersea Kingdom. They were down there within the first chapter, I think. And then they stayed down there till the very last chapter. So
Yeah, this is it's a little bit more of a slow burn, but
yeah.
I don't mind some time on the surface if we're not coming back. I mean,
Yeah, and I mean, as long as I feel like we're not setting up for a bunch of like recaps the way that we got with the Whispering Shadow, where it was just there were some episodes that were all the meat of them were recaps, and it's just like, well, I kind of needed it for that. But you do appreciate a story that's constantly moving forward as opposed to something that's rehashing what they've already done or reusing things like the Phantom or the Whispering Shadow did. So
yeah, I guess even though they are, continuously doing this. Well, he has to do the show every day.
Right.
Point. I guess it is kind of nice that like it's easier to keep track of. Like, whether they've succeeded or they haven't, and that's really all that you need to keep track of for this episode.
Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward goal that resets itself. Yeah, it is nice to have some consistency, right? As opposed to, oh, who's got these jewels? Where are they hidden?
Right,
What's the thing with the jewels? Like, who's this new character? What? Like, this has definitely been consistent. So, better writing, better. Yeah, just across. It's funny that this came from the same studio as The Whispering Shadow, because there's definitely more quality here. But I mean, even at this time, I think Westerns were held to higher regard than horror movies. And think horror mystery, it just wasn't. I don't know. Obviously, Westerns just have the look, right? They have the. Again, horses and ranches and the distinct costumes of the cowboys and, it's period piece.
The
and
landscape.
Yeah, there's so much to it that not only was it all those elements engaging, but it was all those elements were really easy to get a hold of or acquire back in those days. It was really easy to crank out a 12-chapter Western serial or to crank out an hour-long Western movie. But, I think they also put a little more time into the writing for even the B stuff, even the Poverty Row stuff. I think, there's a little bit more of not trying to just like, they're actually trying to have a plot and stakes and things that other serials, other movies we've seen, sometimes they meander a little bit. And Westerns are pretty cut and dry and consistent and good guy, bad guy. And what there's always stakes. Like it's a person or money or, like it's always very clear in a Western what's on the table. And I don't know. I guess that's just part of why at one time, especially in the United States, Westerns were by far and away the most popular genre of entertainment in television, movies, and in radio, like for a time. And now, what Kevin Costner's Horizon is tanked at the box office in its opening weekend. I mean, people just don't go for it. Has to be reinvented. I think people still have it. It just has to be reinvented for a modern audience. I don't know that. I think that again, the thing that's interesting about Gene Autry Westerns is that it isn't, because again, you have like not all John Wayne Westerns are the same, but you have certain John Wayne Westerns, just certain Westerns that are very black and white and like, especially if it's cowboy versus Indian, right? I mean, that's the thing that, it just doesn't really hold up today as what you can use for like a plot point. And so you have to find something else that you can still focus on similar things that make a Western enjoyable for people, but with a story that's actually, just relevant and modern. And the singing cowboy, I don't think that was a real, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure those guys sang a lot. Don't get me wrong, but it's very much an invention of the movies. I feel like, and bringing this other form of entertainment in to kind of just give you something a little different, like from just the stale good guy, bad guy. It's like, oh, and this cowboy, he sings. He's a crooner, and that's why Gene.
This one, it's doubly subversive because it's weird West. It's sci-fi.
That 100%. That is what makes the serial so special. It's the fact that you don't have anything like that at this time that really is mashing two very different genres like that together. Yeah, it is a wild concept for 1935. And again, that's what just like Gene Autry really was the right guy for this kind of a movie, you know, because he sells the singing cowboy thing well. You know, I believe that he's a singing cowboy, even though I'm pretty confident that, you know, that's not really like a part of the job per se, right? Right. So that's the cool thing about this serial, but then just Gene Autry in general. You know, that he kind of pioneered this type that then Roy Rogers and all these other people kind of filled in. They, you know, it became a subgenre of Western unto itself, but Gene Autry was the first. And again, pioneer that he was. I mean, he did so many, like, you know, we talked about how he was a radio star, he was a recording artist, and he was like his character in the serial. He was just very, even at that time, had gotten this like reputation, was building a body of work, like a musical body of work, but also film work. And his reputation just grew very fast. And like I said, Westerns were cheap and they were easy to make. So he was making a whole lot, like every year, just cranking out like 5 to 10 Westerns, probably movies, Roger Corman pace. So you have to appreciate the Corman pace is something we could all only hope to attain, to strive to achieve. But that's why Corman was Corman, R.I.P. And yeah, it's so funny. Like, I mean, again, also much like Corman, Gene Autry, very savvy businessman. But we'll talk about that after the break. And for this break, we've got 2 Gene Autry trailers. The first is for I'm gonna have to pull it up. I can't remember what the titles of these movies are. Let's see. The first is for so the year after this serial, he did a Poverty Row movie called Red River Valley, which is again just him doing the singing cowboy thing. And then the second trailer is for a movie he did called, and I think from 1941 or 42, called Riders in the Sky. But it's interesting because like the trailer very much, and the main song from the movie is the song Ghost Riders in the Sky. So I don't know why they didn't call it Ghost Riders in the Sky. They call it just Riders in the Sky. I think maybe they were afraid if they put Ghost in there, people might think it was a horror movie. But that would have been arguably, if Gene Autry would have made a horror Western and a singing cowboy horror Western, that would have been sick. So you'll get a glimpse of me. I mean, I haven't seen this movie. Maybe it's got a little kind of ghostly, and I didn't watch this trailer all the way through, so maybe it's got a ghostly element. We'll see. But we're going to get these 2 Gene Autry movie trailers, and then when we come back, we'll get into the exciting conclusion of the Phantom Empire Beneath the Earth. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Every day, I never worry about myself, 'cause really it don't pay. I keep my troubles to myself and smile right through a tear. I hope that I never grow old and live 10,000 years.
anything about handling cattle, this wouldn't have happened.
I guess you're right.
If you put that animal back in the corral and come to the office, I'll give you your check.
Now I know what was in this steer's mind. I bet he wanted to be delivered to you personally.
Coming hard, and heard their mournful cry. Yippee-yi-yi, yippee-yi-oh. Those riders in the sky.
That's a great song, Gene. It's more than a song, though. It's a story.
It's even more than that, Sandy. It's a legend.
Gene, I knew what I was doing.
The money was yours if you asked for it. You didn't have to swindle me out of it.
Pick it up. Pick it up or I'll shoot. Gene, McCleary and his men left town. They're out to stop you.
What for?
You've got that deed to the Circle L, and the law says...
If I could get to town,
Here, get killed trying.
Yippee-yi-yi, yippee-yi-oh. Those riders in the sky.
And we are back. So that was the trailers for two Gene Autry westerns, and again showcasing his vocal talents and also his horse riding skills and all that singing cowboy stuff that he did so well. And you know, just a natural, obviously, you can tell. And over the course of his career,
Natural born cowboy.
yeah, I mean, he really natural born singing cowboy. I mean, you know, it's such an odd concept to me. I still can't quite. It's funny, you know, singing cowboy. But I mean, Gene made a whole career out of that, and he, as I said, parlayed that into a career as a very savvy.
So like pure. You know?
Right. Yeah. Oh, there's definitely.
Like, there's the there's like the white hat cowboy, and then I feel like the singing cowboy is even like it's like a level above.
Oh yeah.
Even. Like, can you get any more pure and innocent than a singing cowboy?
Yeah. No flaws whatsoever. Infallible. I mean, because
Just a good guy.
Any guy that can, you know, fucking ride a horse and herd cattle, but he can also sing a few tunes with his guitar and his golden voice, then I mean, hey, that man is totally comfortable in his masculinity, right? He can play hard, but he can also, you know, sing soft. He's very, I mean, it's just such a odd character type, right? And I don't know. It's so funny because Roy Rogers is like, I mean, we think Gene Autry is like very like pure, but I'm Roy Rogers. I'm sure was I think his movies are the exact same way. He's very like, and I haven't really watched too much Roy Rogers stuff. I mean, these guys are not John Wayne, right? Like John Wayne, his characters are usually a little flawed or a little troubled, or they're never quite all like, they've always got like a chip on their shoulder. They're always like kind of.
Yeah, Gene's not carrying around any emotional baggage so far.
That's the perfect way to put it. And a lot of like straight westerns, the cowboy, the main character, is just carrying a lot of emotional baggage. Even though it's funny because it's always like it's not what's advertised, but really, especially in John Wayne movies, like if you really go back and look at them, like I got caught watching one the other night that I grew up watching so much, and it's John Wayne's whole like catalyst is this emotional baggage because he feels responsible for this person's death, this kid that he grew up watching, or it was like he watched this kid grow up and the kid served with him in the Civil War, and then the kid got killed in an ambush by these Confederate soldiers. And so he, like, once the soldiers had been arrested and put into a camp, he was like, I want to know who gave you the information to ambush us. I don't hold it against you because it was an act of war and you were just doing what you had to do, but I want to know who flipped on us. And so it's all about them trying to go fight him, teaming up with the Confederate guys post the war to go find the people who flipped, even though they basically killed the friend that he has all the emotional baggage for. He teams up with the killers to go find.
Yeah, odd pair up there.
It is really strange, and it's like the third variation on that type of storyline that John Wayne and that director did together. They did like two other westerns that are kind of similar. And yeah, I think in all of them, John Wayne's kind of got this, emotional, it's just so ridiculous to me because I'm running through my head all these John Wayne movies, and I think everyone I can kind of tick what the thing is.
There's always some kind of element like
He's
that.
always got a thing, but
see,
Gene,
there you go.
no thing.
It's manly to be emotional.
No, well, but you know what? But I think it's more manly to not be over aggressively emotional and to sing your feelings like Gene does. Okay, Gene doesn't get aggressive with people. Gene doesn't. That's the thing. John Wayne, he'll get aggressive with people. Gene's not getting aggressive with anybody. That's why Gene became a very successful businessman in real life. He basically like bought, much like, like certain musical artists have done, like he was able to go back and like buy all the rights to his like recordings and movies and stuff. So like right away, immediately was able to make money just owning all that, residuals and royalties and all this stuff. So he just was amassing all this money, but then he went into television. He had a popular television show. He did he might have gone into the restaurant business, because I know Roy Rogers did, because Roy Rogers restaurants eventually became Arby's. Okay. Yeah, did you know that? Yeah, because you know how some of the Arby's signs have a cowboy hat?
Yeah.
That's because they were Roy Rogers restaurants.
No clouds. Yeah, but that was thunder. Get out! Thunder Riders. This might mean trouble. We'd better go back. Just when we have offer in the palm of our hand? No. They must have seen a Thunder Rider. We're not going to let them scare us out. There they are! No.
Help me change clothes with this fella. It's the only way to save you from the others. They're coming back. What if they find you out? They won't. I'll lead them away and come back after you later. Don't let him get away.
Where's Gene Autry?
He escaped.
Assist the lieutenant. The Queen would be very disappointed if he should not return for his punishment.
What if Gene couldn't get away?
Then they'll have to go to their underground kingdom with him. Come on, we better get back and watch our prisoner. He's gone.
I do not blame you, Lieutenant Paul, for trying to escape the fate that awaits you. Advance!
The Queen desires your presence at once, sir.
Won't you take off your helmet and get a breath of real air? I understand. A man in disgrace does not care to show his face.
Clear the way, an officer of the Royal Guard.
the realm, under guard.
Is it because you have only one life to lose you insult me in my throne room? You dare to wear your oxygen helmet in my presence?
Yes, but
Off with his helmet!
Your Majesty, Lieutenant Paul is not himself. I beg...
Gene Autry, a surface man in Murania. Welcome. How do you like our world?
Well, I think the dampness and dead air of your land is more suited to rats and moles.
Yes? You interest me. Go on.
My business is singing. I sing about horses and sunshine and the plains. Well, how could anybody sing about those things here? Kind of makes you feel good to sing, you know.
You are indeed a brave man. Now let us see whether you are also a wise one. At ease. Come with me. You have referred to your sunlight and plains. Now let me prove that they are not all that is worthwhile. You may start. Radium resistance elevation. Do you have that in your surface world? See, in Murania we have mechanical men for all our labor. My subjects devote their time to thought, to advancing their minds. Feast your eyes. He is from your world. We have none of that here. There are friends of yours. They may become beggars.
Well, I guess we better go back to Radio Ranch and see if we can find out anything with our directions finder in the laboratory.
Frankie, Betsy.
That's right. Speak to them. The death chamber. There's where you'll be in 5 minutes. You are the first surface man to invade our empire, and your knowledge of Murania must die with you. Take him away. My dear Argo, you may personally build up the voltage.
You honor me. The prisoner is in the death chamber. All is prepared.
Build up 200,000 volts for the chamber of death. Execute.
Show's over.
I'm not quite sure how he survives that, to be honest with you. I mean, really, what does he...
He's gonna jump out at the last second.
That's worked for like every other cliffhanger so far, but I'm not quite sure how it works out here. Because...
Yeah, well, Argo can't save him. He's in the other room.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was expecting it to play out like it did when Argo saved that other guy. And nah, instead they just did that really weird kind of like jump cut to he's already in the chamber and Argo's over here and then he's being shocked. So they'll retcon it in some way next week, as they do. It's fine. You know, that's my one gripe about serials, but that's why they're serials, you know? That's what they do. They show you one thing, and then the next week they say, oh, that didn't really happen. You remembered it wrong. And you...
Just kidding.
Back in those days, you couldn't go rewatch it to see... if you know what happened, you got to watch it that one time, and then unless you went back to the theater and paid to see another showing of it, then you saw it that one time and you never saw it again. But now, just go back, scroll back, click. Oh, why did he didn't do that before? Why did he do that now? Why did, just how these serials work. It's the nature of them.
Yeah, I really didn't think that Tika was gonna kill him. She seemed like she was pretty smitten there for a minute.
Yeah, things were kind of moving fast. Their relationship was really, things were. I was shocked how quickly we were moving, and then I was literally shocked when Gene was shocked because it was all over like that. But yeah, it was nice that for the last 7, 8 minutes that it was just Gene down there and or going down there and then meeting the queen immediately. It's not like all this bullshit of him hiding, running around Murania, which now that he's gone through this, I wouldn't mind if that's the next chapter. Although it's interesting, what was the title of next chapter? Disaster in the Skies or Disaster Beneath the Skies? Something like that. Would have been, yeah, if the Transformers were just aliens that killed people instead of aliens that transformed into robots or robots that... I don't know Transformers.
Yeah, one of these robots is going to turn into a plane and fly Gene out of there. That's how this is going to go.
That would be, honestly, so ahead of its time. Can't put it past them. We don't know. I mean, they predicted AI, right? Murania. They got robots doing all the work so the people can think about it. So that's cool.
So they can think about it.
Yeah. I mean, really, honestly, we could all do a little bit more thinking. And if AI could do some of the labor so that we can all just think a little bit. But everybody's going to use AI to think for them, and it's a whole... It's one of those philosophical, moral dilemmas. Do what?
Are you saying that you think Queen Tika makes some good points?
Well, yes and no, because, yeah, maybe there's a way that robots, AI do all the work for us, and then we can use our minds for other things. But on the flip side of it, people will just take advantage of AI and
real world. Yeah, in reality, it's the other way around. The AI is gonna do all the thinking, and people are gonna get stuck doing all the work.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's why it would be nice if Queen Tika was right, but that's in a perfect world, which I guess Murania is. Above ground, as she showed Gene, that was pretty heavy too. She hit him heavy with it. Here's a poor beggar on the streets. Your friends could become poor beggars. We don't have that down here. All right, now off to the death chamber with you.
Hey, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few genes.
That's really true. Tika's been waiting to crack this gene open, man. He just waltzed right in. He walked in through the front door. Right up to her. That's what I'm saying, the plot of this, the writing of this is so... It just cuts through a little more than a lot of the other serials that we've seen, even though it took 5 chapters to get Gene down to Murania. Now that he's down there, just within 8 minutes, boop, we've already gone to... He's down there, he meets the queen. All right, he's being executed. Where's it going to go next? Apparently the sky.
I wasn't expecting, social commentary from the serial.
No, that was wild, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's interesting. You know what we didn't get this week?
A song.
A song.
Tisk. I'm very disappointed.
He's got to get back up to the surface so he can do his song. He's going to lose the ranch.
Yeah, well, that's a great question. They didn't tell us. We haven't gotten a kind of a timeline since the last song. Where are we? I don't know. But I got to think we're coming up on showtime, or I guess more specifically song time. So, I mean, it's so crazy that it's just one song. I kind of can't get over that contractual stipulation. It's not even perform a whole show. One song.
He's a star.
He is a star. So I'm interested to see where this goes next. I'm not quite sure, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
So
speaking of stars and stripes,
tomorrow, of course, is the 4th. We'll be celebrating, and we'll be celebrating through Friday as we get our feature presentation for the Summer of Schlock Returns, our 6th film, I believe. No, 7th.
So, yeah.
7th, right? What did we watch?
Oh gosh.
What did we watch last week? We watched The Eye Creatures. Yeah.
Yes.
So this week we've got a late 70s schlockster piece from one of the edgier schlockmeisters that we haven't seen any movies from, but I believe he has a few in the public domain. His name is Andy Milligan, and the film is entitled Legacy of Blood from 1978. And, you know, America's celebrating a burger. Yeah, the Legacy of Blood. Doesn't it just, I didn't even plan it that way, but isn't it just perfect?
Oops.
Yeah. Not an accident. I definitely planned it that way. No. Don't you love that when you just happen to just time things up so perfectly? It really was. I was on theme and I didn't even know I was on theme. So we've Legacy of Blood, and it is I don't think it's necessarily Old Dark House, but it's a murder mystery type of gothic. Like, I guess it's like early 1900s or late 1800s set New England, and it's a family and they're all like fighting over an inheritance to the point of murder. So very American. I mean, again, it takes place in New England. So the birthplace of America, right? There we go. Boom, dude. We fucking nailed it. We nailed it. So that's great.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Even though it's a day after the 4th, it might as well still be. I'm sure they were still celebrating the day after that, right? They had to have been a week-long party in 1776, right?
It was their first full day of independence.
Yeah, then that probably, they stretched it into a week, I would bet, the partying. So that's what we'll do as we celebrate it on July 5th. And of course, Evan's going to be keeping the theme alive by bringing us the perfect cocktail to pair with the evening's film, a little segment which this season he calls...
It's Schlocktail Hour. And this week, to commemorate the holiday, we've got a shooter, we've got a shot, a patriotic shot that I'm calling the Red, White, and Booze.
Ooh.
So, as I'm sure you can probably expect, this features a red, a blue, and a white-ish ingredient. So, if you'd like to make your own Red, White, and Booze, you'll need some maraschino syrup, some blueberry juice, and some white rum. So it should be nice and light, a little bit of sweet, a little bit of sour. Ought to be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, a nice little, kind of a little, not desserty, but a little, you know, with the sweetness, you know, it'll be good. And I mean, again, it's a shot and it's not super alcohol-y. So
yeah, just a little bit.
I would imagine that.
And
I mean,
guess, needless to say, we're going to be layering these ingredients so we get a nice red, white, and blue layer in the shot glass. If I've got my specific gravities correct, I think it's going to be in that order. The maraschino syrup on the bottom, the white rum on top, and the blueberry juice in the middle.
Nice.
I'll probably test this just to make sure it works. I don't want our layers to get all muddled.
Yeah, that's always the difficult part with a cocktail that has to have a certain look or a certain presentation. It's like, is everything going to sit the right way?
Presentation.
I like it. I love it. I think it's perfect. I mean, again, the movie that we're going to be watching on Friday, I haven't seen it. I actually have not seen any movies from this filmmaker, but from what I understand, it's all very kind of like artificial and showy and very like in a way that is very like this filmmaker had a tendency for doing period pieces when he had nowhere near a budget to do period pieces. And so the result is some strangeness. And he was a very strange guy from what I know. I'm going to obviously do my research and I'll bring that to you on Friday as we watch Legacy of Blood. Of course, if you want to find Evan's cocktail recipe. Oh, sorry, what? Oh, good. Yes, absolutely.
Just say we got a weird one.
We do. We got a weird one. We definitely do. So you can find the recipe over on our Instagram page at Screamstream Show. We're also over on TikTok and X at Screamstream Show. Of course, if you want to X, Twitter, whatever the fuck. I've been saying Twitter. If you want to follow me or Evan on the socials, you can find me over on Twitter at Spakenstein, and Mr. Evan Sink is on Twitter and Instagram at Kylegari Curse. We are also, all of our past episodes are over on our YouTube page at Screamstream Live. Check that out. Like, subscribe. Anything. I keep hitting my chin with my mic. My mic placement is not good tonight. Anything before we sign off tonight, Evan?
So, if the Muranians live in a bunch of, like, dank, moldy air, what was in those tanks? They said that they're oxygen tanks, and whenever he took them off, he was like, don't you want to breathe real air? But if it's just, like, oxygen, like, surface-level air, what do they need the tanks for?
I'm glad you asked that question because I also was thinking the same thing.
Straight oxygen.
What? So that's your homework for a week. Go home, do the research, figure out what's the combination of toxins, aerosols? I don't know, whatever you'd breathe in if you lived underground. And then let us know what you think that the Muranians are breathing. What's the deal with underground air? Figure out what's underground air for the Muranians, what weird shit they're breathing in, and let us know next week. So until then, sweet screams, everybody.
And to all, a good fright.